Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by want to win a $500 Jay's gift card, a fly fishing trip in northern Michigan, a Lake Michigan charter boat trip, a walleye jigging trip on the Saginaw River? Well, join the Michigan United Conservation Clubs this summer as they continue to fight for fish, and 4 lucky winners will get a chance to get out fishing and support conservation. By Tri-County Logging. Experienced in sustainable forestry practices, Tri-County Logging can help you manage your property by keeping your woods healthy and generate income. Serving southern and mid-Michigan for nearly 50 years, TriCountyLogging.com.
For over 30 years, Vanguard Outdoors has made the gear that turns a regular hunt into another fine day of field. We know that a good shooting stick or a nice pair of binoculars can make or break your day. Our design teams include serious hunters who work hard to bring you the best sporting optics, shooting sticks, tripods, bags, and more. We are Vanguard Outdoors.
Hello everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Sialik and we've got a great show lined up for you this week. We're going to kick it off by taking you to Grand Traverse Bay where we're jigging for lake trout. You will not want to miss that breathtaking adventure there. And speaking of fishing adventures, Jimmy's got another one in store for us this week.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We actually have 2 more stories on this week's show, both on Lake Michigan. We're going to do a little fishing out of the port of Ludington with some friends of mine as they were pre-fishing for a tournament out of Manistee. Then we're going to drop down a little further south out of the port of Holland, where I was able to tag along with a bunch of boats, actually 30-some boats that were saying thank you to a bunch of veterans as they hosted about 100 different vets that they thank you for their service to our great country. Lots of good stories on this week's show, jam-packed with all brand new stuff. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger, and it's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com.
We're up here on East Grand Traverse Bay. It's a beautiful place, and we're going to be jigging for some lake trout. Been doing this for a few years, and it's a whole lot of fun to do on bass gear. I hope we get them, and we'll see what happens. This time of the year, they're just following food. Early in the year, they start up north of Mission Point, where the alewives are, and then they follow them into the bay. And then as the alewives leave, they just follow them back out. It's pretty easy. We just use little 3.5-inch white swim baits on a big 1-ounce head and throw it out and let it sink. That's a decent one. Nice. Nice little laker. A 6-8 pounder maybe, probably closer to 6.
Is that kind of the average size out here, or?
Average up here is generally between 8 and 10.
So.
let him swim back to live another day. I really like doing the lake trout fishing just because it's a totally different aspect of fishing, and I'm still learning it. So it's hard to, I don't know, it's really hard to describe the joy that I get out of doing this, just because the fish are so much bigger. Maybe that's why he didn't come back. The fish are so much bigger, and we're out here, and right now we're sitting in 70 foot, which is a little shallower than what I normally fish these in, but got to go where the fish are. But either way, we're in a wide open space, so we can just let them run. You know, loosen the drag up, let them run, and we are using bass gear. And I'm using a 7-foot medium heavy rod, you know, and we're catching 10 to 12 pound fish on it. So line selection makes a big difference too, especially how we're doing it with bass gear. I'm running a 20-pound braid to a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. So these, even down deep, these fish can see really good. If you run just a straight braid, you'll probably only get a quarter of the bites that you normally would. You know, if you're just starting out, anything white, anything heavy, and a fluoro leader, you should be good to go. That's a good one. Come out. There you are. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one right there.
We were off to a great start, with a couple of big fish hitting the net right off the bat. Although the tackle needed for this style of fishing is pretty basic, these guys prefer to make their own plastics, a process they thoroughly enjoy.
I make all of my own soft plastics, and this is a 3.5 inch, they call it a ripper swim bait. It mimics what these fish are eating almost to a T. They're in here chasing alewives. So we've been doing this for 2.5 years, I think now. Yeah. Making all our own plastics for 2.5 years, and this one's pretty simple to make. Once we get the plastic all heated up, it actually turns clear. Then we add our colorant to it, which turns it white. And then for this one, we put just a few copper flecks in it just for fun. And that's what really makes the whole bait making thing a riot, is you can do whatever you want to your baits and experiment and see what works, what doesn't work, and it's just a lot of fun. You are doing an awesome job netting fish.
I mean, that's the only reason why you wanted me to come.
What's going on here in the back of the boat?
Nothing good. A lot of missing fish. Watch it, netting fish.
Gotta have a net guy.
That's what I'm good at this year. That's why he brings me along, to be the net guy this year. Unless we're walleye fishing, then he's the net guy.
Although these two have only been chasing lake trout for the last couple of years, they've both been fishing since they were little kids.
So I've been fishing, pretty much my entire life. Just like most other fishermen's stories, my dad got me into fishing, and we primarily fish for bass, and a couple of years ago he finally convinced me to come up here and lake trout fishing, and I was a little bullheaded about it. Kept telling him no, and one day I asked him to come up here with me and go smallmouth fishing. He's like, I'm only coming with you if we go lake trout fishing. And well, long story short, here we are lake trout fishing in the best smallmouth fishery in the state, so it's pretty fun. But I've fished tournaments for a long time, and every now and again you just need a little bit of a break, go have some fun, and this is where I like to go and have fun. So I love these fish. I love these fish.
Pretty much from a young age, my whole family, my uncles and everything fished, and I always went out with them from about 6 years old. Always bluegill fishing and salmon, steelhead fishing on the Grand River, and pretty much done that all my whole life.
Good one? Yeah.
Lots of crappie fishing around home, and finally the last few years, Trent's got me to start bass fishing, and his dad has got me into lake trout and walleye fishing.
How do you feel?
Feels great.
Bring them on the side, Rick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any fish would feel great right now, though.
It would. I mean, I'd be happy with a minnow. Oh, there's another one with him.
Is there?
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks like
Hey,
he's got some fight in him.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, dang.
The other one
The
with
other
him's
one
pretty
with him
good.
looks pretty nice too. There he goes. That is a really good one. Come here, buddy. Ah, yeah. Nice.
Yes.
Nice fish, Rick.
Finally.
Okay, so it's not just you.
It's not
It's
just
just
me.
the luck of the front of the boat.
Yep. Well, I finally caught a fish. I finally got upgraded past Nutman.
Just had to move up to the front of the boat.
Yeah, front of the boat's the secret today, I guess.
What a perfect day on the water in a beautiful corner of our state. Thanks to Trent and Rick for inviting me out for a great day of fishing here in northern Michigan.
I love these fish. I love these fish. Come here, buddy.
Well, as you can see, that jigging for lake trout is a ton of fun and a beautiful part of our state. And speaking of beautiful parts of the state, let's stay on that west coast, drop a little further south to the port of Ludington to do a little big lake fishing with some friends of mine as they pre-fished for a tournament out of Manistee. Well, Jim, we're setting up on the shelf up here.
Yes, we're right up on the shelf right here by Big Sable Point. There's the lighthouse behind me. And gonna see if we can pull some kings off of here this morning. Mark's been working this pretty good, and fishing was a little slow because we got cold weather. We had a temperature change here a week ago. It was 16 degrees in 8 hours.
Wow.
So that kind of, those fish moved out of here. I think they don't have fur coats. But things are starting to stabilize again, so we're going to be fishing a tournament this week. And what's going on there, Bo? Is that going down? You got a fish on already. I'd say there's a fish on already.
Who's up?
Who's up?
Who's up? Apparently right up against this. There you go. Yep, just let him pull for a minute.
How far down do you have that?
Oh boy. Have you ever done this before?
No.
Give her some coaching there, Bo.
Yep. So just let him pull a minute. Okay, so now you're going to kind of pull back like this. And then reel, start reeling, and then go down. Keep reeling.
This is Brooke Paddock. Her family won a trip that we donated at Outdoorama with our friends at Greenstone. So Brooke, her mom Elizabeth, and her dad Brad came up from the Chelsea area for a day of big lake fishing. And we were just setting lines, and sure enough, Brooke was fighting her very first big lake fish.
Keep it up, reel right down to your fish. Now back up with me and we'll lift up easy. Okay, now you pull.
Got him.
Very good. Hey, way to go. Blue. Good job.
Whoa!
Hey, nice fish.
Very nice.
Hey, Brooke.
Nice job, young lady.
Thank you.
Your first time ever on Lake Michigan, I'd say you started off pretty.
Yeah. The boat we were on was called Silver Addiction, run by Mark Williams, and Mark had donated this trip as part of the giveaway and was actually pre-fishing for an upcoming tournament, so it all worked out well. But he had said the fishing, unlike this morning so far, had been kind of rough.
Actually, the last few weeks has been slow. This is actually the best start we've had in the morning. We did our Fish On for Freedom event last Friday and only boated 3 out of 6 fish in really rough conditions, but no, it should start coming back. The fish been in Wisconsin, but I hear they're migrating across now, so hopefully they'll be here soon.
And you guys have the Manistee tournament coming up, so when you're pre-fishing for a tournament, what kind of things are you looking for? How do you kind of get ready for a tournament like that?
So yeah, this weekend they got the first Manistee tournament, and the nice thing about that tournament is they got boundaries on it. So we got from the Ludington pier heads to the Frankfurt pier heads, and then the Michigan waters. So they weigh your best 2-man limit, so no more than 3 trout, lake trout or 6 trout, lake trout or steelhead, and then the rest can be kings. And so right today we're actually big fish hunting, so looking for structure, looking for kings on structure, and then looking for the steelhead offshore.
Okay. And what will describe kind of the fishery for July and into August as the next, as we get into the next couple months?
Well, I tell you what, if the spring fishery is any indication of what the fall fishery is going to be like, it should be fantastic. We've seen large bait. We actually had a alewife that was about 11 inches. You get hung up on a 100 copper, and the kings have been big. And one we just put in here was pushing 16, so that's good. I think the fall should be pretty good.
We did tape this story a few days before the Manistee tournament that actually happened a few weeks back, and Mark and his crew got a top 10 finish, 8th spot to be exact. Pretty good showing indeed.
Hey! Good job. Got it, let go. There's a tournament. That's a tournament fish.
Whoa, that's a big fish.
Charlene. Hey, give me a hug. Good job.
Oh, Brookie, look at that.
Holy smokes.
Stop it.
It's fun to see first-time anglers do well out on Lake Michigan, and sometimes Jim says that he prefers first-time anglers.
That's because they don't have any bad habits. They come out here, and especially the women, I have to say it, over the years I've been doing this, the women listen. Okay? You tell them to do something from the helm, they hear everything you say. You get a guy on the back of the boat and he's got a fish on, he understands everything that's going on because he doesn't hear anything else. He's only doing his own thing. It's kind of a male-female thing, and the women really excel in this game.
It's good fun.
Keep reeling, keep reeling, keep reeling.
Oh, we got him, Bo. Reel. Come on, up here with me, reel. Come back. Got him, Bo.
Got him. That's a big fish.
Biggest fish of the day. Biggest fish of the day. That's a big fish. Plus, we got a bonus. That's a big fish. We got a hitchhiker. We haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Whoa, that's a toad.
That is the biggest fish of the day.
Maybe an extra squishes on that handle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that fish.
Players, please. That's a good fish. That's a great way to end the day.
Another great day. Some new friends, some old friends, some great fish. It just doesn't get much better. Thanks to all involved, and there's still some time, so get out and enjoy a day of making some memories here in Michigan's Out of Doors. Well, we are going to stay in Lake Michigan on this week's show, and we're going to drop further down the coast to the port of Holland, where just a couple of weeks ago we were able to say thank you to over 100 different veterans. Over the years, the events aimed at taking veterans out have grown, and that is a great thing. I am not sure which one was first, but the Tight Lines for Troops out of Manistee was the first one I remember. Then there was one out of Ludington, then Muskegon, Holland, several good walleye ones on the east side of the state, and I'm sure I'm missing several. But the point is, each year there are captains and just regular fishermen who give of their time, money, and gear to say thank you, and it's an awesome thing. And that is what brought me to Holland a week or so back as we hit the water on an overcast morning hoping for some big kings on Scott Murray's boat.
So we are in Holland, Michigan on Lake Macatala heading out for the Fishing with Veterans event.
And how many boats we got and how many vets?
I think we've got around 100 or a little over 100 vets and over 30 boats participating, and we are, I think that's everything, right?
And it's not a tournament necessarily. We're just going out to catch big fish. And
we're just fun fishing today. That's it. So we're going to go out and try to get as many as possible. And we have a big potluck at the end of it. And
awesome.
Yeah. So door prizes and everything else at the end.
Just to say thank you to the vets.
We want to thank the vets for all that they've done for our country and making this event possible.
Awesome. And how's the fishing been?
Hit and miss. So,
yeah.
So we have had a couple days where they were really good, and then they kind of slowed down last weekend. But we went out earlier this week and picked up a few. So we're hoping that this change in weather will bring them down. The salmon have been up north, so we're hoping that they bring them down south for us with that cold water.
Okay, what you know what depth we're going to target or anything? Or
we're going to go set up probably around 75, 80 foot of water, and then we're going to troll north to about northwest to about 130, and see what we can pick up from there. So the kings have been laying down on the bottom lately, so we're going to try to target there and see what we can't find, or listen to the radio, see what everybody else is doing.
Awesome, good deal. We had a boat full today, and everyone was getting put to work setting some lines. What's the method of the madness here?
There is none at this point. So we're just going to start out with some a variety of baits, some spoons. We got a couple meat rigs on low divers. We're going to put a trout rig out on the chute, and we'll see how we do.
Going to cover the water column then, or?
We're going to start low because we're in pretty shallow water right now, so I think he's at 75 or 80 feet. So we're going to start in the 50 to 70 column probably on most of our stuff, and then we'll see if we get a bite.
Okay. Do we know what that one hit on?
What did you have on that? We had a spinny, right? Spin Doctor?
The two-face. Two-face spin and glow with a green proctologist fly.
Scoop them.
Oh, there you go. In. Nice. Nice job.
Woo-hoo. Well done, sir. That's one, a big one. Holy mackerel. He had a lot of life in him.
Nice job, young man.
Young man, you say that loosely. Now we don't reveal ages. You got it? I was in the United States Marine Corps for 2 years in 1970 and 71.
And where were you stationed?
I did my basic and advanced in California and San Diego, Pendleton. And then I did a tour in Vietnam, and then I came back and spent the rest of my time up at El Toro.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about, have you been part of this event before, or how did you hear about it? Or
I heard about it through my daughter's father, one of my daughter's father-in-law, Brad Stevens.
Okay.
And then he contacted me, and I applied, and I got accepted. So this is actually my third year.
Nice.
So,
and what brings you back every year?
Well, because it's fun. Look forward to it. It's not everybody can get out in the big lake. The captains and the guys that donate their time in the boat is great. I mean, it's phenomenal.
U.S. Army, and I was in from 72 through 74.
And where were you situated in the world?
I got to spend 2 years over in Germany, Kitzingen, Germany.
Okay. And tell me how you heard about this fishing event.
Well, a good friend of mine, he's been participating in this event for, almost 7 years. So, and he sent me a little flyer on it, and I submitted my application and got selected. So,
is this your first year?
My first year. Yep, I'm a newbie.
What are your thoughts so far?
Excellent. This is fantastic. It's a great thing for the vets. So.
We also had Duncan McDonald on board today, but poor Duncan was not feeling so good with the waves. And of course, as the waves got worse, well, the fishing got hotter. We had a triple on at this point of the morning with really only 2 guys able to fight fish. Between jockeying positions on the boat and getting rods out of the way, we had all we could handle. One fish got into the downrigger cable and got off, another got off as well, and we did land one of the three. Overall, I think our boat went 2 for 6, but we had a lot of fun. Some boats did quite well, and we all started to head into the pierheads around noon for a very nice parade down the channel. This is always a cool part of these events, and once on shore, I was able to track down one of the folks putting this event on here today.
This is the 2023 Fishing for Veterans in Holland, Michigan. Based out of Yacht Basin Marina, we host 100 veterans. We had 32 boats this year. Had a great morning, started off great. Lots of big kings hitting this morning. Weather turned crappy, but we still have a great time.
How much goes into putting one of these events together?
My wife does it all. My wife Tracy really does the whole thing, and it really takes about 10 months of preparation to do it. And the last 3 months has been every day nonstop. So she does a great job. We raise money from local businesses and individuals. And then if we have extra funds, we donate it always to a veterans organization.
And how many years have you been doing this?
7 years now. This is our 7th year. Yeah. And we're glad you're here, Jimmy. Glad you're here.
A great day, a great cause. Thanks to all involved and to all the veterans. Thanks for what you have done to give us the freedom we have here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Thank you so much for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you stick around in upcoming weeks. We've got all sorts of adventures headed your way as we hit the state with cameras rolling. If you'd like to see where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Online is a good way to kind of keep tabs on us. Of course, you can do that through our website, our different social media platforms, as well as YouTube. You could subscribe to our channel there. Get an email every time we post something new. There should be some good new stuff happening over the next several weeks. There is so much going on around our great state. Get out and enjoy it. And if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by.
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By Alta Equipment Company, providing sales, rentals, service, and parts because uptime matters. From earth moving to landscaping and light construction, Alta offers over 50 brands across 7 Michigan locations to serve you. More information online or 844-GO-2-ALTA.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man.